What's going on, y'all? This is Q Ortiz, your local San Diego massage therapist, musician, and artist. And I'm coming up just answering a question. I'm just coming home from training. See that Choi Li Foot, Kung Fu, Chan Family, Lohan Qigong. You can check that out. All right. Well, we have a question. Someone was asking me, how are you consistent with the diet? Like, how can you be consistent with a mucusless diet? Because it's challenging to just get into fruits and vegetables and start to veer away from starches, grains, and fats, because that makes up a huge portion of what meals consist of and what people will say are normal. So as far as the consistency, I think it comes down to one, having your why, as people would call it. If you look at different motivational speakers and teachers, first is finding out why. Like, why do you want to make a change? Why do you want to be consistent? Once you have that reason, excuse me, y'all. I have a client. I need to get ready for a client as well, for a massage therapy client. So I'm like doing this video, having some fresh papaya, and then I'll get ready for that. But when you find your reason, it makes things a little easier, because then you know what your motivation is. Then you start to go, okay, I'm feeling this in my body and I want to make this change. The next step will be to look into the information. So I mentioned in the last video about getting into the Mucusless Diet Healing System, first learning the system. Then when you learn the system, you're able to apply the system. So whatever you're looking into, I recommend the Mucusless Diet Healing System. But however your perspective is, you're viewing different diets or anything of that nature, learn what the system is, learn what it is, and then you can start to figure out how you can implement those principles into your life. So with the with the mucusless diet healing system, it's also finding what foods you enjoy, because when you can find those foods that you enjoy, that's where you can continue to be motivated. You have a, like, say papaya, or say you like a certain lettuce, you like romaine lettuce or red leaf lettuce or green leaf lettuce or spinach. And one thing that's nice about the mucusless diet healing system, or just in general, like that system, but other, say like Dr. Sabi, he has a nutritional guide list, right? A food list. You go on mucusfreelife.com. There's also a food list of sort of going through the categories of if there's mucus forming food, if they're mucus free, if they're pus forming foods, like more the meats, like what they break down into, what they leave behind. And all of these perspectives, they can give you the view of the different foods, so it can inspire you to try different foods. And that's one of the benefits of looking into the information and starting to incorporate that into what you're already doing, and then sort of weaning yourself off of those foods that you may not necessarily want to continue to incorporate in your life. And when I use the word wean, that's where, when we're talking about consistency and motivation, we're really fighting either the comfort, right? Because that goes into, you could transform this conversation from with the diet, but to other habits, right? Activities. You might be comfortable doing something else, kind of chilling, but you gotta go push yourself at something. So this is sort of like that, because a lot of the foods and the additives to the foods, they form a bond on us. They form the addiction to those foods. So you open up a bag of chips and you'll end up finishing the bag of chips. I used to open up whatever size bag of chips. It could be like one of those huge, like family size bag of chips. I'm just because they work on that texture, they work on the flavoring, natural flavors, salt, sugar, oils, the fats. So all of these are what hold you. They bind you to those foods, and then you're trying to eat healthy, right? Healthy, and you notice it's not as stimulating. It's not as exciting as when you had these barbecue chips or whatever. So that's where having the why, right? You have this motivation, like, okay, why do I even want to? Because if you don't want to change anything, then you're not going to change anything. I was speaking with someone recently, just going through the transition, talking about the transition, and we were speaking. He was saying that he wanted to lose weight or make certain changes, but I don't want to give up these donuts or give up these condiments or this burger like that. And from that perspective, it's, you got to want to change. You got to want to change. Where, yes, maybe at this time you're not ready to give up certain foods, and I understand, because I realized throughout my transition on the Mucusless Diet Healing System, there was a point where I was like, will I never be able to eat this food again? Will I never be able to see this food or have it ever? That's kind of scary. I like this food. I'm attached. And it wasn't until I let myself have the food to where I saw the effect it was having on me, especially because I had been practicing more clean for a certain period of time. And then I was craving these other foods. So then when I let myself have it, then I noticed my body was feeling nasty from that food. While I was eating it, I noticed what my body was saying. And from then, never had that food again because it wasn't just an emotional attachment. Now it was a physical understanding, a physical experience that allowed for me to understand what this food was doing to me. And then it it wasn't any more of a question if I should be eating this. It was more like, oh, I'm done with this. Okay, next, next. What other foods can I eat now? So I think as far as consistency, that's also a factor. Is having that experience is not is okay. What's the reason why I want to change? Having the experience of that food, trying something new, exploring other foods, right? Substituting certain foods, incorporating that food again, experimenting, seeing what that food is doing to the body, to your appetite, right? To that addiction. And once you figure that out, now it's a matter of moving forward, just having a plan, having an understanding of how to navigate through this world and through this life because you will run into every situation regardless of what you're practicing. That's the thing. It's just with any diet, any kind of diet you're on, you'll run into, oh, they yeah, it's just a little bit of sugar. Oh, you want some candy? Hey, you want some sweets? Oh, hey, I got some chips. You want some? And there's all of that, say, let's say temptation. And especially if you're deep into whatever you're doing, you may be on another level, just specific food, specific. And it's not anything that people are eating. They're eating the opposite. So you really gotta focus on you and understand yourself if it's something that you really want to do, if you want to be consistent. So that's really that's really it. It's just knowing why you want to change, right? Having that conviction, knowing I want to make a change. Then getting into information, learning, educating yourself about the different foods. I mentioned, yeah, Mucus Free Life has a whole list you can go through. It just gives you ideas. The Dr. Sabi, just with the different ideas of the fruits or the herbs, even the grains, like substituting this for that. You just get a broad spectrum of what you can utilize, right? Then from there, starting to substitute different foods that you have for those. And again, none of this is medical advice at all. It's just answering this question and and then from substituting the foods, focusing on you, focusing on you, how it's making you feel, getting that physical experience, learning how those other foods are treating your body, treating your mind, treating your energy, and utilizing that as a lesson. And when you have that, then you know, okay, yeah, I can't eat that. Like now it's not a matter of what I mentioned before. It's not a matter of that attachment, that emotional attachment, because a lot of the times we're emotionally attached to the foods, whether it's linked from the past, like childhood kind of, oh, Pop Tarts. Oh yeah, when I was younger, I remember like those kind of connections, or just like spaghetti. Oh, when you roll it on the fork, like all that. All right, how can I substitute that? All right, let me get some zucchini noodles or make some noodles out of carrots. Just finding they people using kelp noodles. That's a way that they're shifting from the more heavier, starchy grains with the pastas and all of that. And even the kelp noodles, I think is still it's kind of weird because they have some. Usually, when I see it, it's like the kelp, and then it has some uh, sodium. I forget the name right now, like sodium agitate or something like that. That's in it. Let me see. You see kelp noodles ingredients. Yeah, kelp noodles, sodium alginate, something like that. Sodium salt extracted from a brown seaweed. So that's kind of weird to me a little bit. So yeah, but if that seems better to you than the pasta, then that's good on you. So let's see, where was I? Yeah, so finding those substitutes and then um, yeah, making that shift for you, having the physical experience, and then going from there, just having the focus on yourself, having that diligence to keep moving forward. Mm, and that's really it. Because once you explore the different foods, then you find what you enjoy, and it makes the process easier because it's you're incorporating foods that you find a joy in. That's not those other foods that you're finding harmful or just um, not suitable or beneficial for you. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you for tuning in and supporting this channel. Thank you for listening. All right. I'm gonna, as I mentioned, get ready for this client, this massage therapy client. And if you're in the San Diego area, you can message me. You could actually send me an email. I have my email in the description below, and you can book a massage session. I'll put the link to the massage, and then you can click that. Other than that, thank you. I have donation links in the bottom as well, so you can donate whatever you feel if you're supporting the work that I do, what I am giving out here. And regardless of that, you can leave a like, comment below, or send any program. I'm on all of those pages. So please do that. All right. Well, thank you so much. And subscribe, click subscribe, and we can vibe. All right. Peace.